If I could, I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to our regular board meeting. It was Monday, March 18th of 2019. It's 7:01. First order of business then is if everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, roll call. Let the record show all members are present. Was the meeting properly notified?
Yes, it was.
Okay, at this time, we have an opportunity for public comment. Pam, do we have anybody that signed up?
No. I'd like to make a public comment.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make it quick. It looks like you guys are busy tonight.
Okay, if you could introduce yourself.
I'm Chad Wolski. I have kids that attend St. Croix Central. I've been part of the community for over 36 years now. The other softball parents and I have spoke about this in the past. We've never taken any steps to remedy this, but it's to get a temporary fence put up for the JV middle school field. Right now, there's no field there. It just goes from softball field into basically runoff and rocks. Yeah, and what I'm looking for is that, obviously you can't take it up at this meeting, but to get approval of putting in a temporary fence where it could be put up for the games, and then they can take it down for the other activities that the field is used for the middle school. We've done research, it's about $1,000. We understand that there's budget constraints as well, but if there's approval of installing the fence, the softball community could do the fundraising for that to get the funds available to put that in. So that's what we're looking for. I thought this was sort of step one in the process. If we can get the approval, you guys have the funding, that makes it easier on our side. But if that's needed, it's easy enough to run, to do some fundraising for that piece of it. So I don't know if there's any questions, but
well, I can speak on real quick on behalf of Central St. Croix Rec, since I'm on that committee, and Corey Sanders is also the rep for girls softball. We've talked about Central Rec about taking care of that, and the next step for me was to actually talk to Mr. Green, because if we remember way back, we have some of that collapsible fence somewhere.
okay.
So that was the next step. So we're actually headed that direction already, Chad,
Okay.
in regards to working with Central Rec to possibly pay for it
Okay.
if we can't find it,
All right.
and then try to get that up.
Also,
Yep.
cool information.
Yeah, we've been talking with Chippewa Valley as well about different types of breakaway fence.
Okay.
The safest fence for athletes instead of putting up snow fence or something that
Right,
Is it-
exactly.
quite safe. So we've been doing some research on that end as well. What's the best temporary fence to get?
Yeah.
Keeps player safety in mind.
Yeah, we've seen it at a lot of the tournaments where, it's pretty much the slow pitch and the fast pitch are in the same fields, and they throw those fences on, and they can take them down pretty quick, because they pretty much do fast pitch tournament, and then once the evening hits, then slow pitch sort of takes over, and those fences get taken down pretty quickly, so.
But we're also having that conversation for the monetary part with Central Rec to help with that part of it, so.
Catherine, my daughter Catherine and Roxy Vandesart built the dugouts for the middle school
Yeah,
for their Girl Scout project.
well, let's get the Girl Scouts.
We don't have any issues with the village then of getting into easements and stuff like that, or that's all our property?
I don't think so. I think it's all our property.
Okay.
It'll be
We're gonna have a
before
residence
city
zone.
property.
Yeah,
the
it
pump
would be
station is
within,
theirs, the
or
rest is
within
our.
our.
We're only looking at about 238 feet, and that's about 280 all the way out to their property. So they're quite a bit shorter. The problem we have, if we put it up right away with JV, if it's not easily removable, then all of a sudden that really takes away our recess and PE space for capture flag and stuff, so we have to be creative there too.
Right, yeah, and some of them, like I said, I think they have pretty much you put in the one piece and it connects up, basically, so then you can still use it for all the other sports, so.
Thanks.
Alright, thanks guys.
Thanks, Chad.
Just along those same lines, I guess that I would echo kind of what he said, is we gotta make sure that it works for all parties involved. But also, I would question that if the funds are raised for it, and it's gonna be used for softball, who owns it, who's responsible for maintenance of that fence, replacing sections if something breaks? Not that we have to have a decision right now, but it's just something to keep in mind, I guess.
We have a pretty good partnership with Jason. For instance, in the past, we've purchased the batting cage and the high school puts it up, and we're working pretty good with one another right now in regards to that partnership of who's in charge of what.
Try to
So-
share responsibility as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Okay.
And to the putting up and taking down to serve all parties, and that's been the complex part of how do we accurately put up the fence every single time in the exact same spots for each level. So that's the problem with baseball as well. So you put the same field over middle school as well. So it's what's gonna be the most cost effective and safest and accurate. And who's responsible for putting that up and down on a daily basis. So those are some complex puzzles to solve, but the conversation is happening.
Okay.
They probably don't need it except during games, real competition games, they don't need it in practice.
Okay, is there anyone else with public comment at this time? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to our next item, which is our forensic presentation by our middle school student, Elijah Mua. And Amanda, wanna?
Good evening. Our SCC middle school forensics team had a wonderfully successful season. 35 students from grades 6, 7, and 8 competed at 3 tournaments. And despite inclement weather, repeatedly causing rescheduling of tournaments, our students performed with immense talent. The majority of students received blue ribbons at all 3 tournaments, and tonight we are fortunate to hear from one of those students. Elijah Mua is an 8th grade student who is new to our district. He competed in the category of special occasion, which required him to write a tribute to someone who's impacted his life. This was no easy feat, as Elijah chose not only to write his own piece, but to also write a piece that's quite personal and then to share that with others. Elijah is a talented writer and speaker, as evidenced by the final tournament when he received 3 perfect scores. Thank you in advance as you give him your attention.
Good evening, everyone. Before I say my speech, I'd like to thank Ms. Langman and Ms. Buckle and the school board for allowing me to say my speech. Not only that, but I want to say thank you to my family. I want to say thank you to Grandpa for being here and for my parents for being here. And this is my speech, so I hope you guys enjoy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yapu Moore. You guys can call me Elijah. I've chosen to speak on Situation 5 listed on the category Special Occasion. Tonight I want to honor someone who is here with me, and that person is my father, Gomei Mo. Lo cha, zandu lo cha, lo o, zandu lo o, lo ta, le o, hao jo. This is a Hmong metaphor that I learned a few days ago, and the meaning of this is that if you see people up and moving and being busy, that should be a sign that you need to get off your couch and start pursuing your dreams. There's more to the meaning, but this is just a brief wrap of what it means. No matter what I do, I always think of these words to remind myself that if I work hard, I will be successful in life. Whenever I think of this quote, the first person I tend to think of is my father, Gomei Mo. I've gone through many events to meet many great leaders and great crowds, but no leader could have a bigger impact on me than my father. I chose my father because he is inspirational and shows good leadership. Furthermore, a reason why my father is such a significant role model in my life is that he is very inspirational. There are 3 main lessons that he has taught me that inspire me to be who I am today. First, patience. Patience can be from controlling your temper to your tone of voice. These things reflect who you are as a person. An example is when my grandpa and uncles come over. So sometimes when they come over, well, I'm the oldest, so I have to deal with my siblings, and sometimes they will get on my nerves. And when they do, my parents will tell me to calm down, because when you show your anger to people, it can be reflected in a wrong way, and they can perceive it differently. Simply, if you get mad, talk about it after people leave. Second is how to be successful. Success is an individual definition to everyone. Maybe some success could be like being a professor. Success is being a doctor. Success is anything. My dad taught me that to be successful, you must be able to walk your talk. If you want to succeed, take action, do the work to be successful. A man can speak without doing what his words state, their only words. For if you want to succeed, work hard and push the limits to pursue your finest dreams and goals. The third lesson is that family is very important. My dad has taught me that family is very important, and though you may not think about it, your family is like your best friend. It has its benefits because you can learn from them, teach them, inspire them, and look up to them. This consists of everyone, your grandparents, your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, and your siblings. They know who you are because you're related to them. Not only that, but your family will be there to support you when you fail, so you must be there with them, and they will also be there to support you in your dreams. They will be there to get you up when you fall, to put a smile on your face, and watch when you succeed. In conclusion, my dad's inspirational lessons have not just taught me how to be a better student, but a son and a leader. Lastly, my final reason why I conclude my father is such a significant role model is that he has great leadership. My father taught me that to lead, you must lead with your actions and not your words. You must be able to do something before you go and teach others, because how are you going to teach someone if you can't do it? An example of this is when we were at an event called Na Cha Pitel, which is basically Hmong New Year's, and my dad was a part of the committee who led the event. And this is important because he helped take action into leading it and making it successful and fun for everybody. Another example is that he was a mentor in college, and he helped mentor high schoolers from turning them into kids who are making bad decisions, maybe doing drugs and not getting A's, into kids who are achieving their goals and getting A's. This is important. All right. To conclude, my dad's skill in leading others influenced me to want to become more of a leader just like he is. Therefore, he has great leadership skills. In conclusion, I consider my father as such a significant role model because he is inspirational and shows great leadership. Who said reaching success would be easy? Success isn't granted to those who are born gifted, but granted to those who work hard and pour their everything into it. The words you speak get you nowhere, only the actions you take define who you will become in the future. This is a quote that my dad told me, and ever since I've always held it in my heart through every challenge and obstacle I face. Without the lessons and good leadership skill my dad has taught me, I would not be the person I am today. My name is Yapo Moore, you guys can call me Elijah, and this is my speech. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
If you come back up, they might have some questions for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll get tough now.
Questions from the board? I
Okay.
guess,
Go ahead,
Go
but
ahead.
before he sits down, as he reads, and a lot of things he spoke that he learned from his father. You guys may not know, but Elijah and his family are new to the district, and he walks the walk. Him and his sisters, kindest. I catch those kids picking up garbage in the hallways, always saying hi, always looking to help. So everything he preaches, he does. They've been an incredible addition to our middle school. So they have, and he walks the walk. So I really wanted to mention that to you. It's not just words.
well, Elijah, I want to thank you for your presentation. These are always the highlight of the board meetings. You should be proud of your accomplishments. Your family, I'm sure, is proud of you as you are proud of your family, and that is a good thing. My idol in life is also my father, so
Thank you for listening to my speech.
so thank you and
It's our
best
pleasure.
success, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Keep up the good work.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think the other thing we need to mention is Mrs. Langman's fault, those snow days, because there was 3 in a row on the day of that forensics meet, that to be rescheduled.
He has to schedule it
It's a tough- It's a tough, been tough weather years, so I blame that on the weatherman, I won't blame it on any teachers.
Okay.
So, thank you, Amanda, good job. Okay, with that, then we will move on to the next item, which is, comments from board members and superintendent. Start with the comprehensive communication plan update. I'll leave that to the committee. Is there any update?
So we met again today. A couple of the discussions and decisions. We will go back. We don't believe that there is currently a district policy, and again, we're not interested in writing a district policy, but one of the recommendations that will come forth, Howard, is that we do formally name a district spokesperson. The recommendation will be that it's Tim. And that's important on two levels. The first one being that Tim knows he's our district spokesperson, and everybody else knows that they are not our district spokesperson. Should there be media inquiries or actions where it requires a spokesperson, that there's clarity of role there. So that'll come forth, and we'll find the right place to put that and bring it as a recommendation to the board.
It would be Tim only, or Tim or his designee?
To be discussed, but I would assume it would be a designee in there as well in case Tim is the incident, right? Which we would hope it's not the case, but you have to have contingencies, right? The second is that we are looking at, and we continue the discussion about creating communication from the board level to all the district constituents about great things at St. Croix Central. Some of the pieces that would be included in that are what's highlights of some things that have recently occurred that others may not know about, as well as some key things coming up that are not routinely on the everyday calendars, like the sporting events are well published in the sports scholar, et cetera. But for example, we recently had the fourth grade play at the auditorium last Thursday and Friday. And, the elementary parents knew about it, but we could probably ask others, did y'all know about it? And so those types of things we want to make sure people are aware of, because anyone that missed that play missed a real treat. It was a great job with the Lion King. And so working through, Tim and Kurt were at the meeting. We think there's some benefit to looking at a standard template across how we communicate. I think the elementary and the high school are both using a format through SMORE. It's a template service, and you get analytics and all that. So Tim and team will bring forth a recommendation to us about what they recommend using, and then stay with a multi-channel communication process. We can put it out on a website, but we can also put information up on our scoreboards and media boards. We can have it in the schools. We have several Facebook pages, and just really creating a better network of coverage, and include some type of a postcard mailing into the district box holders again as well. So that's really where we're at. So the next meeting, we'll be looking at what policy do we want to bring forth? What are those first communications, and who will be doing what work to do that? And then make a recommendation to the board to move forward from there.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds like the committee's been working hard, and appreciate that. Now it's trying to get better communications out to our community and parents, and not only hitting them up every time issue comes up that we need money, but let them know how they've put their hard-earned tax money into the school district. Let them know what they're getting out of it. And so there's a lot of things to be proud of this district and the students that are in it. Students have been fantastic. And, they should be recognized for that. So, thank you for the hard work, committee.
And we'll meet again a month from the third week of April.
Okay, any questions with regards to communications? Okay, then the next event we have is the 2019 Recognition and Retirement Event, Friday, May 17th, 2019.
Yep, just wanted to invite the board again. This is during Professional Development Day, and we'll be having a breakfast And then, recognizing the retirees, folks for the Years of Service Awards, and the perfect and nearly perfect attendance awards that morning, and the breakfast will be catered by Panther Catering.
And time?
7:30 we start the breakfast. The awards presentation about 8 o'clock.
Okay. Any questions? If you're interested in attending, it's a couple of months out yet, but if you could let Pam or Tim know, we can get a list of board members that are interested. It's usually a pretty good event, so. If you can make it, it's greatly appreciated. So. Okay, next item is to set a date for the teacher negotiation committee to meet and confer with the teachers, committee members.
When do you wanna do that? Have a date in mind? When would we normally do it?
Well, we've done it on Mondays, typically, I think, in the past.
In April, you're
or-
thinking?
It's usually right after school, isn't it?
How about
Yeah, I think,
April 8th? Too soon?
I think so.
What time? 4?
Spring break next week, come back, and the board.
4 o'clock?
Yeah,
What's the
because
soonest?
that's respectful to our staff that they're done at 4 and then it's right
3:30.
after the
3:30.
3:30.
So,
4 is okay, or
Can we
3:30?
do 4?
I think 4, yeah.
Just, and we'll do it here, or in one
We
of
did it
the
at
buildings with
the-
the, we did it in the lecture hall.
Large group instruction, yeah.
We did it at high school last time.
We can fit up to about 60 people.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Yeah, 4 o'clock,
What's the date?
Monday, April 8th.
April the 8th, a Monday,
Yes. See.
9th is conferences.
What's that?
I said-
9th is conferences.
So that'll work.
Okay.
Sure, track. There won't be throwing, it's not.
Bring your swampers.
Huh?
Bring your swampers. Okay, and we have a date for the teacher meet and confer meeting. We also need to set a date for the support staff meet and confer meetings, so. Committee, what date? You're looking at there. Committee pick the.
Are you meeting each of the groups independently or one big, each one individual?
Yep.
And it's
Usually
what,
about 3:30 to 8:30 typically, about each 30 minutes per group, I believe. Let's do the same schedule as last year.
It was like 20, I wanna
Okay.
say. So you have to schedule each group.
15th,
Second
board
is the
meeting
day
night.
after- 22nd is the day after Easter,
Right.
is that,
maybe the 29th.
What day?
is that too
That's
far
a
out?
Monday. I'm not going to that one.
Who's in that one?
The
Trish, Scott, and Kirk.
Kirk, Scott, Trish.
29th work?
That's spring.
29th work?
April.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Starting at 3. So Pam will typically reaches out, asks who wants to meet, and then develops a schedule based on that.
Okay.
But tentatively, we'll plan through 30 to 8:30-ish. Let you know as it gets finalized.
Okay, do we have any other more comments from the board members or superintendent at this time? I guess I would make one announcement tonight. It's come to my attention that one of our former teachers, Judy Potacek, has passed away. And so I was not aware of that earlier, but we'll wish it family best wishes and send our sympathies. Flowers were sent from the district to the funeral, so. But she was a teacher for us for many, many years. And I'd like to formally recognize that here at the meeting tonight, so. Best wishes to the family. Is there anything else? that, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is our mental health first aid course presentation and report from our SCC school psychologist Jessica Anderson and our speech language pathologist Rachel Evenson Fink. So, welcome.
My own tonight.
HDMI or VGA?
Am I supposed to know the difference? Let's see if this works.
Well,
There you go.
He has to, it's a big pick the right one.
VGA?
Yeah.
Definitely VGA. There we go.
Well, I can't see it, but that's fine.
You got one over here too, up on this screen here.
There's a second pair of sheets.
Alright. So yes, for those who don't know me, I'm Jessica Anderson, I'm the school psychologist at the
Yes.
elementary school. I'm here to just briefly present on kind of a pilot program we had this year, which was mental health first aid. So about a year ago, Tim presented a really great opportunity to me to be trained as a mental health first aid instructor. It was a very intensive training, but one that I valued greatly, and even in my training as a school psychologist, I took away a lot of added benefit. And I use my training as a mental health first aider just as much as I use my training as a school psychologist. So when we look at what it is it's really a 5-step action plan that helps individuals to identify various mental health crises and problems. So similar to like a first aid or a CPR, it's really just that help that we can give an individual who's experiencing a crisis. We're not asking individuals to step in and become a therapist or, be that doctor that's diagnosing a medical condition. You're providing the support in the moment when someone needs it. It's an evidence-based public education tool. There's a lot of research to support and back it as a positive program that's gonna increase our awareness of these needs. So when Nick and I really worked closely together to set up a course truly for our staff members, it was additionally open to the public as well. But it is an 8-hour training that we broke up into 2 4-hour nights. But like I said, the primary part of the training is to teach an individual to assess a situation which involves mental health needs, to select an appropriate intervention or course of action, and then to really secure care, which I think is sometimes something that we feel really unaware or self-conscious of how we can continue to offer support even after something comes up. We talk a lot about risk factors and warning signs, kind of how to broach that conversation as we move forward, because it has such an impact on not only the individual, but their family, their coworkers, children, neighbors. So that's an important piece as well. I don't think I have to preach too much to you all as to why this is an important program and one that I think as a school board and I know as administrators, we can value. When we look at youth mental health at school, we know that 1 in 5 children have a diagnosable mental illness. It may not be diagnosed, but really that's going to impact about 5 students in a class of 25, which is a significant impact on not only their peers, but their teacher, their families. When we look at suicide, it's the second leading cause of death for children ages 10 through 24. So it's a continued conversation on how can we have these conversations with kids and maybe be the difference. And really, I feel like this helps us and gives us the tools to have those conversations that are super difficult. And a lot of teachers left the training saying, I know the questions to ask, but it's not until it's laid out for me how to do it or how to approach someone or how to feel confident in having that conversation that I feel like I can truly go into my classroom and pull a child aside and have a difficult conversation that can lead to them getting the help and support they need. The one thing, however, that I said to all of our trainees was, you're probably here as a teacher or as a parent maybe, but one thing that I think sometimes we forget is we're also here
as a sister or a neighbor or a spouse. And we don't realize how often we think we're doing something to maybe help a student. And really what we're gonna take away is maybe the ability to help acknowledge our own needs, mental health needs, those of our coworkers. When we recognize these things in one another, sometimes it can really make a true difference in how we have conversations with individuals and how we make sure that they're set up with the right supports as well. So what it looked like through the course of this school year, it was a 1-credit course that was offered through our alt comp model. In October, we had 20 participants sign up, 17 of which were from St. Clair Central staff members. November, we had 16, 15 of which were staff members, and January was our biggest group, 24 participants, 19 staff members. The max number of participants for training is about 30. And that's simply because it's meant to be a more intimate, conversational setting. The only fee for the course was just for the textbook. It was $10. I order it off the website. They all come in. That's the only fee. So we were able to train 51 staff members over the course of the year, which I feel is a significant amount. And we saw representation from every building, every role, which was really meaningful as well. A piece that I wasn't expecting were all the other members that, we trained as well. We trained a local police officer, we had business managers from the community, and even parents. I know staff worked hard to connect our virtual charter families with the training as well. And we did see some parents there. Our only biggest barrier that I would really truly identify is just the time commitment. I know that it's really hard for teachers who have kids and have to get home in the evenings, coaches who are busy with their teams to get to the training. So really when we look at the future of mental health first aid in our district, I just want to continue to have it as an option for professional development. I think 3 courses offered some variety in times of year that people could take the course. I'd really like to continue the interest of our coaches because they oftentimes have a very unique and personal relationship with our kids and maybe can be that safe individual that kids approach. Our paraprofessionals, we had a number sign up for the training, but they did so out of their own interest. There wasn't necessarily an incentive such as the credit that was offered. And even connecting with student teachers, it's great if people are going into the field with this knowledge already. And in the future, I just learned actually that mental health first aid is releasing a teen program, so it's to train high schoolers ages 10th through 12th grade with the same information on how to help their peers. So I think that can be a very powerful opportunity for us as well moving forward. Does anyone have any questions?
Questions from the board?
So are you seeing effects of being able to apply this in our community, within our schools? And what early differences, if any, are you seeing?
Yes, I would say the greatest thing that I've seen and the conversations that I've had are just the level of confidence that people feel in having conversations on their own and maybe not necessarily immediately feeling like I have to find someone to have this really difficult conversation. So often in my role as a school psychologist, I'm sure our school counselors would agree with me, if a crisis comes up, it's immediately, where is that individual to have this really difficult conversation? And I'm not asking people to step into a role that they're uncomfortable with or to, go outside their lane of training. But I think that each one of us should feel like we have the ability to have a conversation about an individual's safety, maybe what kind of thoughts they're having, and how we can connect them to the right people. So I think from the staff members that I've heard from, they've been surprised at how quickly they had to put their training to use, but that they felt like the program so clearly lays out the steps that you take and the conversations that you have and the words to use, that they've just felt like they were given the tools to apply that in the workplace and with their families and loved ones.
have we communicated to the students that this program exists or that this is, that it's something that your last slide, the idea of shame and that sort of thing and to take the stigmas away, but just to make sure that they know that this is a normal way of seeking help?
I'm not as connected, I guess, with the high school level. I know it's a conversation that would be, more challenging when you have to look at what's developmentally appropriate at each age level. I would say our district is very good about reducing the stigma behind mental illness, and I know all of us as mental health staff preach that to our students on a daily basis. We set up the right supports for those kids that we can identify really early on. And I think that's a key word there too, is, there's a lot of kids that fortunately we have the ability to connect with, but then there's a lot that, we might not be aware of.
Yeah, so I was thinking more that we make them aware that mental health first aid is actually a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're feeling the same as if you got injured on the playground, whatever, that they should feel
Seek out.
comfortable going to a provider,
That's absolutely a good point. I haven't explicitly reached out to any students, but I think their awareness that staff are trained in, not only QPR, but also for those that are trained in mental health first aid, it would be comforting, I think, to know that person can have a conversation with me about the things that I've been thinking.
Do you see it going bigger, like training all staff at some point, or even students? I mean, we have funding set aside for these things, and it's very important to our community. I would think that
I would love to see all staff trained. Obviously with the format of the course, it's not like something that I can sit and present in front of our whole district, but that small group, I think if we were to chunk it and really to make sure, looking at the longevity of it, can we get all staff trained? Can we provide incentives for all staff to take it? Just had to laugh a little bit when a staff member came up to me and said, this should not be a credit option, this should just be a requirement.
it definitely should.
And I can speak to that, Trish, and just, we have spoke about that as an administrative team, what that might look like in professional development days throughout the course of a year. And
Right.
not an option that everybody goes through.
I mean, it would take time, but it's just
Correct.
very important.
Yep. It is based on Jess and Rachel's work this year, it's demonstrated that it's something we really need to figure out how we can do it.
So we keep track of visits to the nurse, is that, it's all anonymous, so we don't know, but are you starting to keep track of incidents or interventions so that you can kind of say, well, it's up on, or it's down, or we're making progress, or?
Yeah, our district's use of EduClimber has been really helpful this year, especially with it becoming more comfortable and familiar with it. We're able to track a lot more visits and incidents and interventions. I know the counselors and I fill out a more thorough form and documentation anytime that, we feel it's a serious risk or there's suicidal ideations. We obviously do a lot of tracking for individual student counseling and small groups. It's been helpful this year, I can just say, in adding a second school psychologist, I've been able to get on more student IEPs, so therefore I can track student goals and progress more positively long-term. So I think that overall, our tracking of mental health needs is improving. I think it can still get a lot better. We kind of laugh about how we benchmark and progress monitor academic skills all the time to make sure everyone's, in the right place. And I think the future of our district, I'd really like to do the same thing for social emotional skills and mental health, really to more actively be screening, providing more preventative supports early on.
And do you have, thank you for being here, by the way, but, say a kid has a divorce, those are the sorts of things that happen at home, and learn about them by chance, or, are you, the teacher may learn about it, or is it communicated to you so that somebody's watching and helping?
We have a pretty good network that way right now, Jeff. Matter of fact, just through communication today, sixth grade boy has been identified that, I'm gonna be checking in with pretty much daily now. But I know Jess has been a blessing because, she's worked with our school psych, Miss Scheitower, and they've started anxiety groups. We've got kids in anxiety groups. We've got HOPS groups. Chance and I, are checking probably 5 or 6 kids every day that have struggles, and we have 2 or 3 that know when they start getting that feel, they come down, and Tim has seen them. They're in my beanbag chairs or just hanging out in my office just because they need a break so we're really trying to work hard to identify those kids. Are we getting them all? I think I'd be lying to you if I said we were, but we're making a dent, and I think the teachers, I'm just gonna throw it out to them. They will send us an email. They are very trauma sensitive right now, and when they sense anything, they send us to an email, 2 counselors, Ms. Scheitower. They sick us on these kids to make sure they're okay. They're doing an amazing job identifying these kids. That trauma sensitive work that Pat and her crew has been doing, it's had a huge impact with our teachers on that and identifying those kids.
Good, thanks.
And another way too would just be, I know in our buildings, once a week, we meet with our psych, our 2 counselors, Lindsay and I, or, principals, and we bring up the data. What are we seeing? How many times is this kid visiting the nurse's office and why? What is happening at home? And we share those things, and then we ask ourselves, well, what are we doing to help them? Are they in a small group? Are they seeing someone one-on-one? And so it is tracking those kids just like we are tracking academics. And so, but like Jess said, we can continue to get better, but it's just, everybody has their, hand in it. It's great.
But if we circle this back to the communication piece that we were talking about a few minutes ago, I wonder what percentage of our parents don't know that mental health first aid is a thing.
I've
So,
never heard of it.
me neither, I had never heard of it, so I think we need to push it into the homes better than, work on that direction to tell the parents and the kids that if you feel just off, there's someone to talk to, there's people who are trained, so I think that's a bigger, you guys identifying people is one thing, but if the whole team is identifying from the parent to the kid to the grandparent to everybody in the district, I think it's gonna be more successful.
Agreed.
And if a family has another resource to tap into, it can be beneficial.
And if it's got a name and it's a real thing, then all of a sudden it's less scary. Okay, there's people that are trained to do this, they get it, rather than, who do I go to? I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna do nothing.
I would love to see families even have the opportunity to sign up, and maybe as a district, we cover those costs of, parents that would like to enroll. Financially, it is difficult.
And I would,
$10 is minor in comparison to maybe them being able to use those skills at home.
right, but I would go maybe one step further and do a overview presentation, not a training, but an overview 3 times a year in the auditorium, that this is, families come and listen, this is what is available to you and your kids. And, just make it this simple.
Right.
It doesn't have to be an 8-hour training, it just has to be that someone knows.
Here's what it is, here's
Yeah.
how you access it, and we're here for you.
There's, parent, athlete, every parent has to go, and why isn't this mentioned? I mean, you
Yeah,
have
the athletic
athletic
meeting,
trainers and but those are the same kids that are having these other issues, and not just make it that it's okay, it's just there.
Yeah, it's
So
just-
there's lots
it's
of
just
places
another
where there's
thing.
band parents or whatever,
Right,
just to have a little 5-minute thing and say, hey, this is available, I think that would be great.
As with anything in education, there's a lot that we do behind the scenes that people just don't get to see, right? But I think the more we can inform families that these are the things we're doing actually, hopefully it provides them some comfort in knowing we are intervening early and often for those kids that need it most.
even to the point of, I'm sure there's a lot of families that don't realize how much mental health professional staff we have.
Mhm.
And we should make that more of a, everyone knows there's a sixth grade teacher, but they don't know how many of your group are available to them, so.
Well, thank you. It's, like I